my mother's side, there was in 1800 when they were born and raised in old Mexico, way back. And then they had three children, two girls and a boy. And then, of course, my mother married him. And then we come in 1920, they came to the United States. And then I was born in 1920, to July. And then, of course, after that, the rest of my family. And my grandparents came to the United States then, after the rest of the kids came. And they just had the two girls and the boy. Then, of course, they were married then. And then later on, before they got very, very old, they went back to Mexico, and they want to die in Mexico.
This is your grandparents?
My mother's side.
On your mother's side, okay.
And my grandparents and my father's side, now, this is, again, my grandparents and my mother's side, my grandmother was a Spanish, white, tall, thin, red hair, blue eyes, just as white as freckles. Oh, you can put a needle between the freckles. And my grandfather was very dark, tall, thin, very dark, curly hair. And he had handles. Boy, did he have handles. And he waxed them. When he talked those things, he just shook. And I mean, big things. And he was very handsome, as you can see in the picture still. He was old then. I was married. He was old, but he was very handsome. And he died at 93. He was that old. And my grandmother died at 90 some, a few months into the 90s. But we have hopes that we live that old, and they were strong. But they worked hard, and they were strong people. They were no like people now. No, I mean, you're helpless and all that, no. And then my mother's side mother, my grandmother was Spanish. My grandfather was dark Mexican man, but both talk Spanish and everything. And my father's side, my grandfather was Spanish, and my grandmother was part of India. My grandmother, she was short and stout. And they were wonderful people. And that one died when I was about 3. I could barely remember to see her lay in the coffin. And I keep calling her name, but she wouldn't answer me. She was short and fat. She was a very sweet lady. I didn't remember my grandfather. He was pure Spanish. And he was short and red hair, white, blue eyes. And my grandmother, on my mother's side, she was tall, very thin, very petite, and red hair, freckles, blue eyes, pure Spanish. And she came across in Eagle Pass, and when she wanted to go back, they was doing some shopping in the United States and then Mexico. And when they want to go back, they won't let her across. They said, you're American, you can go across and live in Mexico. And she argued with them. She didn't know English at all. And they won't let her because her eyes was as blue as it can be. White, red hair, tall and slender. And they won't let her go across. And
go across to where?
To her own home, Mexico.
She went, oh.
All Mexico. Finally, they got some papers and stuff, and finally let her across. That thing, they're beautiful people, just like Americans. My grandfather had red hair. My grandmother had red hair. Only my grandfather, that was on my father's side, he was short, a little stout, but he was cute. Yeah, I don't have any pictures of them.
Oh, no.
I wish I did. But it was a big family, awful big family.
Do you know where from Spain they're from? They came from?
My grandmother and my mother's side come from Madrid. And my grandfather and my father's side came from a little town that he was a policeman. And he used to patrol the night. He was in duty at night. And it was so hot, and they had these ponds or whatever in the middle of town, like like a little swimming pool or something. He used to take his clothes and go swimming, and then he patrolled the rest of the town.
Do you know what their names were? Their last names or anything?
My grandfather was Hernandez. Epifanio was his name.
Epifario?
Epifanio.
Epifanio. Epifanio Hernandez.
Hernandez. You don't pronounce the H silent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just Hernandez. And he was a red-headed, blue-eyes little guy. And my grandmother was short. I barely remember. She was short and very heavy and very dark. And she had long hair, and she used to roll it up in top of her head.
What about on your mom's side, the grandparents, what their names were? Do you remember?
There was Frutoso, that was him, my grandfather. He had his long handles. He had curly hair. He was very dark, but he was tall and slender. He was fat. Already? Yeah. You see, when my grandmother moved to where my father was, then my mother grew up in that town. And there's a mining town. There's coal mines. And my dad used to weigh the coal and those, coal, what you call them? There's big tons of where they weigh them. And so he worked in there until he came to the United States. In 1920, he came to the United States. And then, of course, he was married. I was born then.
Where were you born at?
In Mexico.
In Mexico.
All Mexico. My sister and I. And then we came to the United States, and then Francis and the rest of us born in the United States. Houston is where he was born. But he had a railroad job. He made good money. Better than what he did in the mines, in the coal mine. Because he was the one, he ran the scales. He marked down the poundage, the tons or whatever. They were tons of coal. Yeah. Then I think I was about 2.5 or 3 years old when we came to the United States. Then my little sister too, next to me.
You're the oldest?
I'm the oldest. But otherwise, we done pretty good. But we left Mexico. My grandparents stayed in Mexico. But they had a lot of property, a lot of farming, they had an adobe house with marble floors, beautiful. And The walls is 14 inches wide, just the walls, thick, 14 inches thick, and the windows are the same. Oh, she's got space. So we, they live pretty good. They were farmers, my grandparents. And they had a horse they pulled a plow, very big animal. But then they come to the United States after that. But they had all this property in Mexico, about 150, 50 or 60 miles from the border of the United States and Mexico. We used to go over there. They had a lot of fruit trees, figs, you know what figs are?
Yeah.
And oranges and all kind. They had avocado trees, little bitty ones, were very tasty. But you had to climb. The tree wasn't not as tall as that one. It was pretty tall tree. You had to climb and pick it. Sometimes some of them fall, not very much.
I don't have anything for you.
So you moved to Houston when you came to the United States?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come straight across from Mexico into Eagle Pass, and then fix all the papers, and then from Eagle Pass to Houston, Texas, where my father was working.
Okay. How many brothers and sisters do you have altogether?
Well, I had some dead ones. He was 9 in the family. And I had 2 brothers and the rest all sisters. So we, some of them didn't live, some of them died from birth.
What year were you born in?
20.
In 1920? That's when you were born?
My folks was married in 1918. Then they waited 2 years. They had
What was your mom's maiden name?
Arroyo.
Arroyo?
They had very different names in Mexican names. My grandmother was Frutosa, like fruit, Frutosa. My grandfather was Teodoro. Now Theodore is okay, but Frutosa, I never heard of it. But she comes from Spain. My grandmother's in Spain. She's just as beautiful as she got red hair. Just gorgeous. Tall, slender. Well, she's gone. She was a beautiful lady. And she had that red hair. And she combed it down, way down here, just like Jody. Then she rolls it up, way up and down. And she looked beautiful. Blue eyes. She was a gorgeous lady. My grandfather was very dark, curly hair and long hair.
Yeah, so how did you get from Texas all the way up here to Montana?
And a truck.
What did you do that whole time?
We worked on the beats,
Picking beets?
worked in the fields. Yeah, we went to Michigan first, and then we come to Montana. Then I found your grandfather, so I married him.
And you guys met in Rosebud or something? Was that?
We worked, no, I didn't, my folks did. After I got married, I never worked in the fields.
Okay, but where did you meet Grandpa at?
In the section. The section runs this way, and the fields was on that side.
So he was working for the railroad and you were working in the fields, and that's where you met.
That's where I met.
Okay.
My sister wanted to grab him too, and I says, oh, no, you don't. It's mine. So I got it. I wake up here a little harder than you. That's how come I got it. And I was the ugliest one. My sister's nice looking. But I'm ugly as a mud fence. But I guess you want to be.
So when did you guys get married? What was the date?
There'll be this coming Thursday at the 18th of July,
18th of July,
1938.
1938.
Yeah.
What about Grandpa? What do you remember about him? I know he came over from the Philippine Islands.
Yeah, he came he came to San Francisco, and then in San Francisco they get a bunch of people together to come work in the fields. So he came with a bunch of workers, and when he got to the fields, he didn't like that. So he says, well, that. So he worked and the beats and all. He didn't have much money left. So then he applied in Glendale, the next town, for railroad. And he got in the gang, in the Japanese gang. He didn't like them either. He was very particular. And so he quit and he got in Rosemont. He went to the section.
Well, he came over with his brother, right?
He came over with
and some relatives,
brother. His brother died.
On the way over. Then they bury him at sea.
He buried at sea.
And then he came to San Francisco, and then didn't he work his way up to like Seattle at a time or something?
Over Seattle and come this way.
And then work in the fields all the way over.
Yeah. Then he come over here, in the ditch where they water the beets. They had a fish coming into the water, and there was in the ditch dry, jumping around. So he went and got him. He killed him, and he had fish for some great big catfish.
So what railroad did you work for?
The same.
The Northern? Was it Northern Pacific?
Northern.
18 years old, right? 17 or 18 when he came over. And he didn't speak any English or didn't read or write.
Well, he still couldn't talk very good English. He but he gets so excited, he couldn't pronounce the words right. But then I said, calm down and slow down and talk right. And then he kind of quiet down.
What did he do for the railroad?
But he got a good job, good reputation all the way through. Yeah, he worked from Glendale clear to Billings, all his line.
What was his job?
Foreman. He made good money.
And he used to have to help, he started out putting tracks down and laying out
Everything.
I remember his leg had that
He had a
callus on there, and his arms were all big. And
yeah. Got a guy. But when you left those rails, it's not easy. You got some kind of a tongue like this. You raise him up, and he raised the other end, and it's all muscle. He had the muscles you ever saw.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, right there, just, if you ever got a hold of you, look out. Yeah, he was a wonderful man.
Most of them. And what was Grandpa's full name? Patricio
Martinez Serquina.
Yeah.
That was his name. And so he just put half M Serquina. That was it. That was shorter. The other one was a little bit long. Martinez was his mother. Last name.
Oh.
And now we just have Serquina and his cousins have Serquina. It just to put the I on it.
Got the I dropped either by mistake or purpose.
So
Nobody really knows.
Something nobody really just want to be a little different. And you go by in Seattle, all in the neck of the woods, and you look and see Serquina. You say, my goodness, the cousins, all they have cousins.
Now, what's your full name?
My full name is Trinidad Hernandez Serquina.
No middle name?
No middle name.
What was your first name?
Trinidad.
Okay.
They call me the everything but late for dinner. That's for sure.
Okay. And what was your dad's full name?
Esteban. Another thing, Dad's father was Esteban, and my father is Esteban, and we have a kid named Esteban. So it's very different. And we never thought of it. You just name him, and that's a Stevie.
Right.
But it was sure funny. It come out just right. But his father was Esteban too.
What was your mom's name?
Eloisa.
Eloisa.
And his mother was what? I can't remember what his mother's name was.
How many brothers and sisters did Grandpa have?
Well, some of them died.
So don't.
There's a picture in that thing. You've seen them. There's a picture in there.
And those were all his family. And
Yeah, his brothers. But one died in the way to San Francisco.
so, what year did they come over then?
Who, from the Philippines?
Yeah.
They came in the boat. He says all of them was sacred dog. It was the motion of the sea. And he says they eat what they vomit it out.
What kind of
Sacred. So then his brother could take it. So when he died in Vancouver, Washington, he's buried in there.
Oh, he's buried at Vancouver? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
what type of boat? What kind of boat?
What kind of boat? Big boat. But you see, the ocean is motionless, and they're not used to it. And so he got he got some kind of a fever with it. And that's what it took him.
So how did he end up in Vancouver if they came to San
They
Francisco?
have to put him in a quarantine. In a quarantine, anybody who comes across, they have quarantine place to put him. That's where he died.
He died in quarantine?
His brother.
And then they took him to Vancouver?
Just would he bury him. And then he's buried in Vancouver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then father got over it. They gave him some blood transfusion and stuff.
He was in
sick.
quarantine too?
He was sick too.
And then he just went to San Francisco and...
Yeah, and then he come up here. They had a bunch of people coming out for the railroad and beach. That's why he came on the beach, but he didn't like the beach. So he went to Glendive and got in the railroad. He wasn't there until he quit. He retired. He was pretty lucky. Everybody liked him. Those big shots from Glendive was his deals and brought gifts and stuff.
When he started, how much did he make? Do you remember?
He didn't make much. I think it was 25 cents an hour or so. But you know, way back then it was a good money.
That was good money.
When he quit, he was making $25 an hour.
Yeah,
As foreman.
that's good.
We was in Laurel. He cleared lots of money, but Uncle Sam took half of it.
Still
And I'm
does.
still getting it. All the money that he made Well, we wasn't all, we worked a lot of overtime.
Yeah.
Yes. But we made a good life.
You guys lived in Laurel too? So where all have you lived? You lived in, where'd you get married at?
Here in Mount City.
In Miles City. And then where did you go
We
to?
went to Horton.
Moved to Horton.
Yeah. Then we moved to Mount City.
Back to Miles City.
Then we went all over. We went to Columbus. We went to Billings. We just all over. To the railroad. But then we come home.
You finally came back here. When did you come back here and stay here from?
75.
So you've been here since 75.
Then of course he retired right after that.
I thought he retired in 73. Is that right?
No.
I know I saw the thing somewhere.
Yeah, he did. 73? Yeah.
He retired from Mount City in 73.
Yeah. 73. Yeah, we come back here. And he made a lot of money.
So what year did he start working for the railroad?
Who?
Grandpa.
He was 18, you mean, when he started?
Yeah, when did he start with the railroad?
Oh dear, what was it?
It was before you got married, right?
Oh yes. No,
So that was in 38 you got married and you started.
he started in 37, 36, somewhere in there.
36 to 73.
Because he didn't like the beach. But he come from, that place, Vancouver, to work in the beach. He didn't like the beach. Just didn't care for it. There wasn't enough money. And to work all day, he said, oh, my back was killing me. So he just quit. Went to Glenda and applied for the railroad. That was it.
What about, we kind of talked about yesterday how when you got married, then you lived in an old railroad car that they made into houses for everybody?
Yeah, there was a nice little house. It had windows, and then we had dividers. We had our bedroom, then we had a sitting room, then we had a kitchen.
This was just like an old box car?
Yeah, that's all there was, but just have dividers. And then, of course, if you had company, you could change your clothes or whatever. And then we had stove and cupboards and everything. But we were so close to the railroad, the covers had a little things to hold the plates, otherwise they fall and break. It was so close. But we
And then
were
there was
happy.
like 4 of you that lived there, wasn't there? Like, wasn't John and Doris? They were there?
At the time, just John.
Just John.
No, I take it back, Doris too. There was one there. Then after that, we come to that little house across the street. Then we bought this.
And when you bought here, you bought the house, and that house, and all that half a block here, wasn't it?
All the half a block.
And is it right? It was like $800 for everything at the time,
right.
and like $10 a month?
$800 a wall. Sometimes we paid just $5, sometimes $10. It just depends how much you had left over. There was more taxes that we bought. Then we sold that for $25, $25,000 a lot. So we made our money back. We were smart. That's what those big houses are. And he come over, he called, he says, I want to buy those 2 lots. I says, okay, father was gone already. So one morning the doorbell rang and I went out to see. He handed me that $50,000 right there. Bought 2 lots.
That's pretty good. That's really good.
I just called the lawyer to fix the papers.
Pretty good profit.
Yeah. And we only paid, well, gosh, maybe $3 a lot or something because there was $8. Now you have 4 lots in there and 4 lots here. But they make it this way, facing Mississippi. But we made it this way ourselves, face. But they're supposed to face Mississippi. So we were lucky. We could own all that half a block, this one, and this one. For practically nothing, less than 3,000.
How come you didn't do it?
We had too many kids. We had, Junior was in the way, so we couldn't afford it. Junior cost us $10 for the hospital for 10 days, $10 for the doctor. But then right after that, boy, the prices went up. All my kids cost $10.
I hate to think how many kids we have, that's how much they
Right down.
And 10 days in bed, all you eat and everything, clothes washed and everything. Yes, it was really nice. So I had the kids when it was very cheap. Thank goodness, otherwise we wouldn't have no kids. We couldn't afford it. So everything went just the way we wanted. And all just himself worked. I never worked since I got married. Never worked. I work at home, but never work. I do everything, but not for money.
You know, 6 kids, that's a lot of work at home.
Yeah, but it's not for money. That is. I sew for them, make shirts and dresses. I just buy the socks and shoes and breeches, that's jeans and underwear. For the boys, the girls, I made it. So we really done pretty good. Into the bed. In Josie and working. We got a house. Each one of us had our own car. He took his own, and I had my own.
I didn't know you'd ever
Oh
drove.
yes, I had my own car, and my nephew still got it. There's that two-tone blue, and after that I got a little bit too nervous, and so he didn't want me to go and get hurt. I just didn't, and he sold it to my nephew. But I missed it, but I drive the other one. And we, each one of us have our own car, and we've done pretty good. And just his wages. Then I used to can meat of all kinds, pork, beef, and sometimes I can lamb too. One man brought him a half a lamb, and we can.
Well, you guys had your own, you had a big garden,
Yeah,
and then I know you used to have chickens.
yes, and we can them all too.
You did all that yourself. I heard that when Grandpa worked on the railroad that they didn't pay him as well as they did some of the other people.
No, after that they find out that, well, that's the foreman's dirty work. And then he got all his money back, all in one chunk.
Oh, because they didn't pay him the same as a foreman as they did other as a foreman?
Right.
But then
He got to be a foreman, so that was it. And he got out with a very good reputation. You should have seen when he died, all the people that was here from Glendive all over. Yes, indeed. He was well respected.
you know, you said he spoke 3 languages?
Languages.
What were those?
Philippine, English, and Mexican. And he wrote it, he write, talk, everything. Oh, sometimes he stuttered, but
Yeah.
so that was pretty good. I could even talk my own. but he done pretty good. It's great. Oh yes, and he learned Indian too. He had a couple of Indians working with him. One day he come over and he was talking Indian to me. No, no, need to I said, stop right there. I don't know what you're talking about. But he learned so fast. Bless his heart. And we had a good life. I wish he was still here.
How did he learn? Did somebody teach him, or did he just pick it up?
Just working with the people, you know. And he just picked it up, and he was fast. He was good. And then he comes and talk to me. I don't know Indian. I never learned how. I never even heard of them. They used to have quite a few Indians just down below at the sports street. There's this golf club now, a golf course now. But at the time they had an Indian reservation there. And they used to work with great big fellows. He looked like a penny alongside of them. But they do what he said. It was good. So we have a lot of memories. We should write a book about it. I was telling him he should write a book about his grandparents and parents and everybody. But you know, it was hard to sit down and think about it, talk about it, and get awful lonesome.
Did he ever keep in touch with anybody? Wrote letters and stuff?
But he never wanted to go back to the Philippines.
You know where at in the Philippines he was from?
San Nicolas, Pangasinan. That's the name of the place.
What was it again?
San Nicolas, Pangasinan, somewhere in there. I can talk Filipino. But the president sent him a welcome letter to come to the Philippines.
Did he ever go?
Marcos wrote him. I still got it somewhere. It's in the deposit box in the bank.
Was it Ferdinand Marcos? Or
Yeah, Marcos.
Did he send him a letter to come visit? Or?
Yeah, to come and visit.
How did he know to send the letter?
I don't know. You'll be surprised. Those people, they know where everybody is, I presume. He got a letter from Marcos. It's in the deposit box.
How come he didn't want to go?
Because they got his money away. You gotta pay both tax and this. When he don't even live in the Philippines. He live in the United States. But they want to get their hands on that money too. After all, he's a Filipino.
But did he have to take like the test or anything, or to become a citizen, or was he just given citizenship?
He's American citizen.
When he came over, because
you see, the Philippines and United States, they're together. The Philippines belongs to the United States. So I don't know how that deal goes in there, but they want him to come over there. He didn't care to go. He wanted me to go with him. I said, I don't want to go to the Philippines. Make chop suey out of me over there. He wanted to meet his brothers and sisters. At that time, his mother was still alive. I remember.
So that was a long time ago then.
Oh, you were after we was married in 1938.
You know, so he still has a lot of relatives in the Philippines then?
Well, most of those in the picture.
All still live over there?
Brothers and sisters and kids and their kids and my kids and her kids. Ooh. So it's quite a few. And then one time during the war, they all wrote they want some money. Father said, gosh, I don't know how to do that. There's too many of you in just one house. Send money over there. And they all was married. Most of those kids was married. So that was pretty hard to do. And if you send to one, you got to send to the rest of them. And this is when I was alone, just different.
Why did he come over from the Philippines in the first place? What was his reason?
But he don't like the Philippines because you don't make money.
He just wanted a better job and
better job and better things.
Better.
Him and his brother, but his brother died. Got the fever. He died.
Now, how many was he? The oldest or youngest? Or?
He was older than father.
Yeah, so.
But there was in the middle of the family. I don't know how many it was. 7 or 8 in his family.
And he was somewhere in the middle?
Yeah. But his father and mother won't let him. They didn't want him
Didn't he,
to come.
and when he was there growing up, didn't he work in like the cane fields or something?
And the sugar cane.
In the sugar cane fields?
And the sweet potatoes. That's all they had, just field work. And he didn't like it because he didn't make money. So he came to the United States. And I want him to go back when his mother passed away.
Has anybody come to visit here? Nobody's ever come over to visit?
They got as far as Seattle. He got cousins in Seattle. Uncle Tommy, he passed away too. And then Uncle Sam, he was married. And there was Rena. I don't know if you ever met her. Rena, it was just a little shaver, but she was here. That's that pretty girl in the picture you see. She's nice. That's Uncle Sam. We call him Uncle Sam's girl. She has 2 girls and 2 boys. But they live in Seattle. And the other one died. And the rest didn't come. They get some kind of a fever coming across the boat. Whatever it is. Well, the different climate, I suppose. Different altogether. The father got sick a little bit, but he come out of it.
That's good.
Father never was sick until the day he got so sick that he died. Never was sick. Never.
Eating the peppers all the time.
So does he have all those peppers?
I guess so. But all the time we was married, he had slight cold, a headache, and that was all. But this one, when he went to the hospital, it was bad. So, I guess some vein broke in his neck or something. That's all he complained. Oh, my head, my head. I said, well, don't move. I stay with him every single minute. Yeah. I never left him alone at all. I had to go to the bathroom. I'd rush like a mad Indian and come right back. I thought if I go out, something happens, I couldn't see you. That's right. He always hold my hand. He won't turn me loose. I don't know. If I was away from him, something would happen to him. I don't know. He was so used to me. And if I went and trip for a week, holy cow, he lost pounds. I'll tell you. Then I come home and he like to eat. He loved to eat. anything once he had
Yeah, I know how that goes.
yes, he just like to loves to eat
What was his favorite dish?
everything, but mostly tamales. Oh, he loved that.
Why does that not surprise me?
And I don't know, it's the hardest thing to do, I mean, to make, and he just loved, but he helped a lot of them cook. Then he used to cook. When he cooked, he didn't want nobody in the kitchen. He made a mess. Oh, but oh, that was good. His potatoes, ooh, they were so good. I said, go ahead. I clean the mess, just cook.
I remember going and picking asparagus with him.
Yes.
Doing that. And,
I was so scared of the blessed snakes. Oy, oy, oy. You know what a snake, you know, but I'm scared to death. Even here in the yard, I'm scared. But he just loves asparagus. Oh man, that was his. We picked quite. One time he was with us, we took 25 pounds of asparagus. It was a nice rainy season, which was much so high. Oh, they were short, tender, and good.
Where?
It sure was nice. And then he had a place out by Hathaway. And there was a little place just for him, belongs to a farmer. And he got acquainted with him. He says, you want asparagus, you go over there and pick. And he bring lots of them home. He was working, but instead of working, he was picking asparagus. He just loved them. We either boil them and put cheese sauce or fry them and with egg and either way, love it. That was good cheese. We eat quite a few when sometimes the spring was so dry, like this year now is dry. It was pretty hard to come up. But they got a lot of them over here by the hospital. Got a lot of asparagus too. And right in the between the railroad track and the highway. Sure good. When you just come up at the ground, just pick it. Really good. Tender. At first I didn't care for them. And after that I got used to them. You make a nice meal out of them with just a bread and butter. It's good.
What kind of peppers did you grow?
What kind of peppers? The white grow, I don't grow anymore. I get them from the farm. Banana peppers. That's what is in those jars. And that's what that sauce made out of it too.
Now, how do you make the pepper butter?
That sauce,
Uh-huh.
I just grind your peppers, onions, and tomatoes together and then boil them and kind of wilt them down. And then put them in a jar and put them in a big kettle with water, let them boil, and when they start boiling, real good, time them for 35 minutes. So, seal them up, put them over.
what about the jalapenos?
That's oil. You could you could grind them too, but all you have to use a lot of tomatoes.
How did you make the peppers, the hot peppers?
Which ones? The jalapenos,
Yeah.
I just put the oil on it.
What kind of oil?
Missoula.
Missoula.
Missoula. Well, you know what kind of oil. That's kind of thick. And it's really good.
Do you cook them first, or you just
No,
fresh?
just kind of wilt them down.
Oh, okay.
So that way the skin gets a little tender. And then just put them in a jar and pour
Well, you
your...
put carrots in there too. Yeah.
Yes. And then you pour your hot, I cook my vinegar and water and salt together, and then put a fourth of a cup of oil. Put them in the bottom, and then pour the liquid, and seal them up. Your lids are hot. Seal them up and put it away. That's it's good. It lasts a long time. I have to do everything here because you don't have it otherwise. You get them at the store. You get peppers at the store. I think the last year there was $2.25 a pound of peppers from Texas. So those little long, little skinny little things, these places, I don't know what kind they are. The only ones I know that's jalapeno, I like those. They're hot too, but this little dickens of things, oh, they're
Oh,
dynamite.
I know the ones you're talking about.
Yeah,
They're dangerous.
they're dynamite.
But yeah,
Yeah,
they're real good.
they're really small, so, but they're good, and the sauce it tastes good, especially when you put little onions with it. I had some in my eggs today. Had good news that doctor says I'm doing okay. Everything's coming along nicely. I didn't know I had an ulcer. It's healing up. So I can celebrate. Told him I was going to go and get drunk. Yeah, but I'm glad that everything's okay now. I'm not sick all the time, and boy, I hate to be sick. Especially that. Oh, I just hate that. It hurts like everything. And I don't like to be poked. Keep poking me this one and this one. I got cartilage in here, so he don't poke in there no more. So it goes to this one. That sure hurts. He looks for the veins and he raises them up and well. But I'm coming out of it. I don't have to go in another month. So I'm not doing okay. So he said, you don't have to come and see me. I don't want to see him anyway. He got weird. And then over here, he twisted and he looked like he got the horns here. Uh,
How do you make tamales? What, no.
okay. You soak your corn hulls and hot water because they're hard. Then you rinse them out and soak it again. Then you take them out and let them drain. And then, of course, you get your meat cooked with all your spices.
What kind of meat and what kind of spices?
We use hamburger and pork because the pork is greasy. So we put hamburger with it and kind of tone it down a little bit. And then you put your spices with it and cook it. Then you put your chili powder. It's cooking now. And then when they cool off, then you get your corn husks and your dough, put it in the corn husks and put your meat and roll it up.
What spices do you put into it?
Put cominos, black pepper, garlic, salt, in there. Somebody put chili powder, of course, and then meat and so. Then the flavor comes from there.
Can you use like corn?
And you use corn flour,
Corn.
masa harina.
And you just make a nice dough out of there, just that and water, kinda, and make a dough.
Well, you have to put. Sometimes I use the juice if it's clear. I use the juice, and then I put more lard with it because they use quite a bit of lard, and then I salt it. Yeah, you know, it's good to taste it, but you salt it, and then you put it in there. Mix it up. And you mix it up soft enough so you put it in the corn husk with the back of your spoon. Slide over. And when you make it, Leona thought, oh, it's nothing to it. I said, go ahead, do it. Oh, she was exhausted. She made a little kettle. She was exhausted. But she likes it. But you have to work at it and make a big kettle and then freeze them. You got it.
Maybe that's why they taste so good too.
When you want it, you cut them frozen and just take them out, put them in the microwave.
Gotcha.